Greetings and welcome to Smartwatch Ticks. As we kick off 2017, we're playing catch-up. This is the October review, October 2016 month review of Watchfaces, not for this watch, not for this watch, but for this watch. So for those of you new and those of you who've been with us, we'll do a little bit of a quick review. This watch represents a whole class of watch faces that are based on tethering. This is a tethering type watch that connects to your phone using a thing called the WatchAware app. We have many of reviews of these types of watches, and the watch faces that you see here are stock faces that come with the watch itself, or they're downloadable, like this one and that one, through the WatchAware app. There is a procedure to install user-developed custom faces for these tethering watches. We have not put that video together yet, but we will soon. So if you have yourself a tethering watch or you're thinking of getting one, this is the kind where you can talk to answer and place phone calls using your watch, like this really sweet little Limfo LEM2 women's watch. Those watch faces will be in a different video, okay? That's that kind. This kind is, we call this like the KW88 class, because the KW88 from Kingwear, one of the most popular watches, the LF16, this one, the DM368, they all use it. They're all Android 5.5, just like this one is, but they use a totally different technique for installing watch faces, and it's a more complicated technique. And there are custom faces that have been designed for these types of watches, but we're not covering them today in this video either. Look for an already published video about watch faces for the KW88, and you can learn all about these if you have a DM368 or an LF16 or many of the other kind, the IQI i3s, i2s, all those watches. In fact, everything except your Finno watches and Finnow that runs Finnoware, and the number one specialized Android watches, any of the other kind will use the technique that applies to this watch. That you will see again in the KW88 video and upcoming videos that cover watch faces for this class of watch. Okay? Something more about that in just a minute. These are the watch faces we will look at today. This is your classic original kind of watch face process that we've covered in many videos. There's links to the entire playlist here so you can watch hundreds of these watch faces. This is the October review of the watch faces that have been made through the Google G+ community specifically for watch face design. And this is for the Finnow class of watches, which is your X1, X3, X3 Plus, X5, X5 Plus, on and on, Q1, Q1 Plus, or the number one Android watches like the D5, D5 Plus, the D6, the S6. How do I memorize all these, huh? I work with them every day. In a moment, we're going to go through and take a look at all of these. These are the watches that we are talking about today. And you'll find these in the G+ community. And also at the very bottom of the video here in the playlist, there'll be a zip file that includes links to each and every one of the developers' postings for each of the watch faces you're about to see. You can, if you see one you like here, it'll be listed in the zip file. You'll be able to see the picture, know what the file name is, and then go right to the developers page to download that face to install it in your watch. But before that, got a big announcement for you guys. For those of you that are using this type of a watch, the KW88 class of watch, something is happening. This has been in the works for a while, but now it's official. We can announce it. Came out on New Year's Day from the Round Android Smartwatch community moderators. They are posting, setting off 2017 with a big bang. Have you heard of watch faces on WatchAware? Well, if you know about the Android Wear watches, like the Gear S2, S3, and all the other ones that use Android Wear, there's a whole community of people developing watch faces for those watches. Up until now, they would not run on any of our Android watches. Well, read on. In partnership with Terry of WatchAWear, we're happy to announce the Android Smartwatch face section. It's a new WatchAWear section that's created by the RASC founder, Mr. Lokifish Marz, who's been so instrumental in everything that's happening. This channel, on and on and on. He runs the Proboards, all sorts of stuff. And his creations will be released in the coming weeks. The new section is only accessible to WatchAWear members only, so you need to sign up. So I'm encouraging you guys as you watch this to get registered with WatchAWear. Okay? And for those of you who are creating watch faces for these watches, you want to start releasing them in this section, because there's a WatchAWear app coming. When that app is released, it'll allow for, get this, direct download of faces to a watch using an easy-to-use app, the WatchAWear app. How cool is that? It's as cool as this. You put the WatchAWear app on your Android watch, and you'll simply go into the app. You'll be able to scroll through, look at the watch faces that have been created, pick the one you want, tap on it, download it, and it'll instantly be on your watch. You're not going to have to do any of that connecting to the computer stuff and all sorts of things that we've had to do so far, which you will have to do to install these watch faces. It's coming, and just now announcing it. There's also an archive for firmware for those of you who are interested in or need to flash firmware to your watches. We've had videos on that. It's been an evolving and changing thing. The RASC community constantly monitor the firmware that's released by all of the different vendors. Make sure it works and works right, then put it on the archive. So you'll be able to go into the archive to download any of the appropriate firmware associated with all of these watches. And of course, at WatchAWear.com, you'll be able to tie into and get connected as a member only into the new WatchAWear section dedicated to these Android-based smartwatches. Thanks for bearing with me for all of that. Now let's run through and take a look at the watch faces created for October. I don't have any of the connections right now in my mind about who created what. I know we have some new developers here that are creating some amazing watch faces. I'm just going to parade through them. They're listed in the alphabetical order that the creators used as names for their watch faces. When you download the zip file, you'll be able to see the actual names, of course, of each of these watch faces. We call them clock skins when they're in development, and they pieces go into a folder that then is put onto your watch, and the resulting display is a watch face that shows up. But we work in the world of clock skins. And these are very creative. We've got, notice the ones popping up with the sunglasses on them. I like that. That's kind of a creator's signature of one of the newer developers who's been putting these together. Here's an interesting one. Lots of detail in these, and really looks like it's coming through nicely on this particular watch. What are we on? Well, this is a LEM5 watch from Limfo. You got a great review on this one out there. Now watch the eyes. Isn't that cute? 3-button, nice brushed aluminum or steel. It's actually steel finish, solid steel backing. Excellent watch. We haven't done a watch face review on this watch before, so honored to be able to do that for Limfo. Limfo makes some really interesting watches too. You know, I was talking about the different class of watches like the Kingwear ones and the IQI ones, and they all fall into one grouping, and Finau and number one typically fall in the other grouping. Limfo bridges all of that. There are some Limfo watches like this one that work similar to the Finau X5 Plus. Watch this one now. This is cool. Who is that character, huh? I'm pretty sure this is one of Andrew's developments, and he's probably doing a selfie there if that's Andrew. At different times, different people pop up here. And it's an interesting sweeping thing. You remember those with the LEDs in them a long time ago that would just go back and forth and it would make the time appear in thin air? Well, that's what's going on here with bubbles and everything. This is a watch face you need to have on for a while and live with it because changes happen over time. Really fun little watch face there. Kill Bill, the movie, I guess, with all sorts of info, your battery percentage and stuff on it. This is a basic one. You know, the developers come in all sizes and shapes, and there are those just getting started and so proud as going, this is my first face. And then here's an enhancement to my first face. You guys like it? Can you give me feedback on it? It's a really supportive community. As you go in there, you see the watch faces, and you actually, wow. Can you see that little fast movement going on in there? If you start reading the comments under these watch faces, which is why we direct you to the watch face development. If you like this face, for example, when you unpack that zip file and you look for the face in the index and you click on the link that takes you to where you can get it, you're not getting the download directly. You're going to the posting for this face, and you'll be able to read at the top what the author has to say about it, and down below you can read all the comments. And all the different developers jump in and help support each other to create wonderful watch faces. If you're interested in doing this kind of stuff, that's a wonderful way to get integrated into the community and learn some of the techniques. Nice, isn't that? We got the Nixon line kind of coming in now. And again, now everything's a little subdued. You can see the watch faces down behind it. And then they've made them bright orange, different colors. Once a person gets the hang of how to do this, they can just go wild. Make the same watch face in a variety of different styles, colors, patterns, whatever suits your fancy, and put them up there. And then most of these are available for free. Here's a really detailed one. Look at this. Now, I really invite you to check this one out, and I think our very last face is along the same line, because there's things you can do to tweak it so it's unique to your environment, and you can put different cities on there by messing around with the code, and it's not all that hard. So if you want to dabble with learning how to play with watch faces, you can start with this kind of a watch. Looks complicated, but if you follow the directions, you can modify it as necessary to fit your location. Another cute one. Well, this is interesting. What movie's that from? Huh? You remember? No, I'm not going to give it away. You're going to have to follow it through to its source to learn. But all of this is based on the clock engine that's built into the boom. The watch engine that's built in here allows for all of this creativity to come out. This particular face has multiple levels of integration of several different developers in it. And I'm in there too. The little dot you saw going around, that was a contribution I added a long time ago to this scanning radar kind of a watch creation. Since then it's evolved. Now we have analog, we have digital, we have the phases of the moon, everything's happening. Different developers giving a spin at enhancing an already interesting product. It's so much fun. You really got to become part of that. Now I remember now this is Halloween time. I remember this is the October review. We will do the November and December reviews. I'm not sure about 2017 with the whole thing happening to open up the world to the WatchAware kind of faces, and the fact that we have so many different types of watches with different watch faces. We might, wow, whoa! Did not see that coming, did you? This is a good way to show off an AMOLED screen. You see how black the blacks are? solid black AMOLED on these LEM5 and find out X5, X5 Plus type class watches are really solid and really, really good. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, we are going to do the November for sure, the December for sure. There'll be a little while because I'm still playing catch up from the holidays. Can you believe how many watches we had in here for review over the holidays? I tell you, everybody was gearing up for Christmas. And shout out to each and every one of you that participated and helped us out by buying a watch to the links underneath our show notes on the watches we review, because that helps us get in more watches, because they love us to show off the watches because it creates good sales. Synergistic all the way around. Here we go, Star Trek kind of a watch. If I recall, when you look at the write-up on this one, they've got descriptors for each of the categories on a screenshot, so you can dissect exactly what everything is if you can't figure it out on your own. The Suicide Squad, remember that movie? It was just here in 2016. This is a watch face from that, portraying our time and date in a whole different kind of a font. Silicon Valley. Endless creativity goes into these. That's why it's so much fun to put these together and let you guys see in a quick video review the synopsis of all the different skins coming out. Skins, clock skins, which means watch faces. We'll get the languaging down. Yeah, okay, this is all the Triscott. Different designs. Aha, here we go. Look at that. Amazing detail in there. This is why I like a larger watch. These will run on the smaller, what are they, the D5 class watches, the X3, X1, X3 Plus, those kind of watches. But they really look great on these big ones. And this is the default Lympho watch face that comes stock with this particular watch. So we have run through them all for October 2016. Developer created watch faces that run on the Android 4.4 or 5.1 watches that have been made by Final, Number One, and a few of them by Lympho. All right, and again, by way of repeat, we have different watch faces that come with a different class of watches, Android watches. That is handled differently in the way that these watch faces are created, are packed, and are installed, and things are changing. We're going to have them in the WatchAWare, WatchAware.com forum for this class of watch, and look for it in the future because there are developers creating watch faces for these fun little, simple little tethering watches that you'll be able to install through the app that goes on the phone that's called FundoWare. Okay? You have been watching Smartwatch Ticks. We really appreciate your subscription, your participation, just being here, folks. Your comments are great. Try to get to as many as possible to answer. If you have questions, check in the comments below any of these videos. There's a lot of helpful people jumping in and assisting and explaining all of the world of Android and tethering smartwatches to you. All right, we'll see you again soon, and I will have the November parade of watch faces up very soon.